present at this meeting via Zoom is Bill Rhodes, a voting member, Ed McGartigy, a voting member, and Jessica Vitale, a voting member. Also present, Bill Malone, our solicitor, and Arlene LaRosa. Hi, Arlene, our court reporter. We have one continued case and two new cases this evening. The continued case, before we do that, Bill Rhodes, would you like to lead us in the pledge? And the flag is to your left.
It's right behind Kelly.
Right, correct, which is to my right, your left, I think.
All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Bill, you need to step back from the camera when you do that because your big belly, like mine, sticks out right in the camera. I'm only kidding.
It was an eclipse.
All right, we have one continued case and two new cases this evening. The continued case is Z20-25, Timothy Stanton Amisen. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. And Irina Veramides, owners of 919 Old Manoa Road, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2208-0070900, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182604B and 182604F1B to erect a 292 square foot deck within an identified 100-year floodplain. Property is zoned R4 and located in the 8th Ward. So when last we met, we heard the entire case and we had requested a copy of the floodplain map. So do we have that?
Yes, it was submitted to Kelly. I think she said she gave it out to the member members.
Mr. Kane, if I could.
Yeah.
At the last hearing, we were up to Exhibit A9. We now have 6 additional exhibits. A10 is the FEMA National Flood Hazard Layer Fermat. That's capital F, capital I, capital R, capital M, small ETT, and property viewer. A11 is the PADCED ArcGIS web map. That's ARCGIS web map. A12 is the NFIP flood insurance rate map, effective 11/18/2009. A13 is a Google Maps satellite and map view. A14 is a view from the rear of the property photograph, deck level, and A15 is a view from the rear of the property, again a photograph, in relation to the creek. And if I could ask the applicants, did I correctly identify those additional exhibits?
Yes, you did.
And is it your intent and desire to have those admitted into the record?
Yes, please.
And to the board, I see no reason why those should not be accepted into the record.
Okay, they're admitted. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? And do any of the board members have any questions?
I have no questions. I believe that the exhibits now give me the information and the confidence I need to move forward.
Okay. And Jessica, do you have any questions? Bill, do you have questions?
No, I just want to thank the applicants for submitting them so quickly.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice job. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify about this case. Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and I'll ask if my fellow board members are prepared to vote immediately. Generally, there's a 2-week lag, but let's try to tick this off the agenda. So, Bill Rhodes, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Ed, are you prepared?
Yes, I am.
Jess, are you prepared? And so am I. Bill Rhodes, would you please take this decision?
Sure. I would vote on application Z20-25 to approve the requested variance subject to following conditions: that there would be no enclosures below the deck or around on the deck, no roof over the deck. There's no storage allowed under the deck. You will remove the existing shed as you had indicated you would.
there would be no utilities on the deck except electricity, and that the project would be completed within 1 year of the date of this approval in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Ed?
I agree.
Jess?
I agree.
And so do I. That application's approved 4-0 with those conditions. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
sure you guys will do a great job. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Mr. Chairman, before you
Yes.
move to the next case,
Yes.
we do have minutes to approve.
Okay?
We had minutes distributed to us today for July 30th, August 6th, September 7th, October 15th, November 5th, and December 5th. Only missing October 1st, and that will be out shortly.
Okay. So you want to move to,
Motion we approve.
okay, and I'll ask for a second from a different board member.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
So our next, our first new case this evening is case Z20 dash, yes.
If I could, there was an additional agenda item, item 2 on the revised agenda, which is clarification on case Z20. Have the revised agenda in front of you. Mr. Cromwell is here with his clients, and this at the hearing.
No, you don't have it.
On December 3rd, the applicant's variance was approved with a number of conditions, but there was a question regarding condition number 2 regarding the number of bathrooms permitted within the structure.
Okay. I have the revised agenda now, so I suppose I should call that case, Bill, although it's listed as a clarification item or something?
I would call it, yeah, it's a clarification.
Okay,
The board's done these before when there's been questions as to conditions that were posed. So I know Mr. Fromwell's here. I would.
okay, we'll just
Board
proceed.
hear from Mr. Fromwell.
I see Fred. Hi, Fred, how are you? You're on mute.
Yep, thank you. Good evening. I thought I was appropriately attired until you called the national anthem, and I had to stand up. I realized I had my sweatpants on, but no one can see them now. So thank you. And
Well, Fred, let me read the description of the case into the record real quick first. So the next case is Z20-22, Arthur R.G. Solomson Jr. and Julia H.M. Smith, owners of 501 Oakley Road, Haverford, PA, DC folio number 2205-0073400, who seek to obtain clarification or reconsideration of a condition number 2 of the board's decision on December 3rd, 2020 for case Z20-22 regarding the number of bathrooms permitted within the accessory structure. I'm sorry, go ahead, Fred.
You may recall we appeared before you on December 3rd, and you decided that case, and we received the written notification of your decision, wherein you approved it, the application, which was for use and improvement of the accessory building in 501 Oakley Road, subject to 7 conditions. And let me first say our clients are very appreciative of the board's decision and the approval, and thankful and grateful that you gave us a full opportunity to explain the application hearing. When those 7 conditions were read, we thought fine. We were a little disappointed with condition number 2 because, well, we can't have that pool bathroom that we wanted with the shower on the first floor, but at least we could have a powder room. And then, of course, it began to occur to us that maybe that condition meant that there would only be 1 bathroom that would be on the second floor and not a powder room on the first floor even. And then I had contacted Kelly for clarification and heard back that our fear might indeed be correct, that the board was looking for there to be only the 1 full bathroom on the floor. And I know that at the hearing there had been discussion, why do you need a shower on the first floor? And Mr. Thompson, who testified, explained the reasons why the shower was important. The shower is still an important element, but an element that we have lived without. And but it is highly important that there be a toilet on the first floor, and we never really discussed that in context of it being just a toilet on the first floor, because the discussion related to a bathroom on the first floor. Among the conditions that you imposed were that there be no cooking facilities, appliances, equipment, that this decision be reported against the property records, and all of those conditions that you imposed are reasonable, agreeable, and we appreciate time and attention to do that. We would ask, because of its importance, that you reconsider, clarify, whatever the case may be, condition number 2. And to that end, I was hoping that both Mr. Thompson and his wife, Julia, could explain to you why it is so important to have at least that toilet on the first floor, and would ask that you consider that condition number 2 of your decision. So with the board's indulgence, I would like to ask that single question of each of them. And I see Kevin Rasmussen is also here. Kevin is the architect. So their proposal to you would be that they would eliminate the bathroom on the first floor, but ask you to consider a small outer room where there would be a toilet. I would like just for each of them to explain the importance of that to them.
Hey, Bill Malone, do I need to swear them? I believe they were sworn at the last hearing, but technically...
They were sworn previously, yes.
And I think that is true with respect to Mr. Thompson. Julia was unable to attend that evening, which was an in-person hearing. But she is here tonight, and they're sitting together, and she has not been sworn. So I would ask.
Okay. Julia, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You're on mute.
I think you're on mute.
You're on mute. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Fred.
Perhaps I can start with Mr. Thompson, Mr. Thompson, and ask why it is that you would request that the board reconsider or clarify condition number 2, and why having a toilet is so important on that level of this building.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that, and I'd also like to express our appreciation for the board letting us do what we want to do with that building. And when we got the decision, we tried to think of a way to make it work with one bathroom, but it's very hard to do because basically it's a very big project to try to rehabilitate an old 100-year-old structure that has never really work done to it. Major undertaking, and that we're trying to figure out how to fit all the different things into it to work, make it work. And the second floor is supposed to be a guest room where children and other people can come and have a bathroom in the bedroom, and have it be a private, personal space. And we tried to think, well, if we had a bathroom on the first floor, children or older people would have to try to walk down strange stairs in the middle of the night to shower, and that didn't seem very practical. Also, it wouldn't be very private if there was an office space being used downstairs. So that didn't seem like it would work very well. And then the first floor, at least the part that I'm going to use, is going to be an office. And if I'm going to be there, 3 or 4 hours a day, something like that, it's very practical to have a toilet there to use. I wouldn't have to go either upstairs if no one's there, or go in someone else's private space if there are guests there. So it doesn't really work very well not to have at least a toilet on the first floor. So that's what I would add to it. My wife has some other additional
Yes. So for me, we are lucky enough to have a pretty big garden around our house, and one of my hobbies is to work in that garden. As it currently stands, go into our house. Our powder room in our house is on the ground floor, but it's in the middle of the house. So I go in trailing leaves and dirt and take off my shoes, and then anyway, it can be. I can end up making the house messy from having been outside and having to go inside and wash my hands or wash my face or use the powder room. And I wish we had, but we do not in the house, have a powder room that's accessible from the back door, which wouldn't mean I had to go through the entire house. Putting one into this accessory building on the ground floor, right inside the main door we would use to access it, would mean I could go in and out from the garden, get a very minimal amount of space dirty in the process of going into the powder room, and could use it and go back outside and work. It would be extremely helpful and make my life a lot easier. And the other reason I would not like to have the single bathroom upstairs in that building is because, once again, I would be going in and up the stairs and to bring a lot of the garden along with me, which I would prefer not to do if possible. And as my husband has said, we're envisioning our guest room being used by family members, my elderly mother and our children, and someday soon we hope grandchildren. And we'd like to make sure that when they are there, the space that they're in can be their space, not have us. So we're hoping that you will consider that.
And just in terms of how that would change the plan, we had shown the floor plan of the first floor as an exhibit, and we had included in there a sink, a toilet, and a shower. And that shower would be removed, and that bathroom would shrink back to a size that shower in that room.
So we're talking about a powder room on the first floor and a full bathroom on the second floor?
Yes.
Yes.
Bill Rhodes, questions?
Fred, that last point you made, could you just repeat it? I may have lost it. You were talking about reconfiguring something upstairs?
The only reconfiguration on the plans that we had presented is the outer room itself, where you would eliminate the shower. That powder room would then shrink by virtue of the elimination of the shower, and that space would be moved over to the hall space that is outside of the powder room.
I don't have any other questions right now.
Jess? Ed? Okay. Ed had to step away for a moment. Bill Malone, we tick all the boxes we need to tick with the questions and so forth?
I would just say you want to do the litany again because there were additional.
Okay.
There was additional testimony.
And Fred, is there anything you want to add before I go through the litany and call the case?
No, thank you for the opportunity to come back and raise this request with you.
It's our pleasure, Fred. It's why we're here. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present, whatever that means these days, that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? Seeing no show of hands or light ups, waves on the Zoom meeting, we'll close the record on this case, and we will attempt to make a decision this evening. In the event we're unable to do so, a decision would be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting. Bill Malone, I know you're not sitting next to me, so you can't give me the date, but
January 7th.
January 7th.
Yes.
You're usually ready with that, Billy.
It's 2020, my friend.
Okay, but in all likelihood, we'll make a decision this evening. So, thank you.
Well,
Okay, Thanks, Fred. Have a great holiday. Julia and Art, have a great holiday.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks. Okay. Our first new case is Z20-27, Kenneth and Karen McFadden, owners of 432 Rittenhouse Circle, Haverford Town, PA, DC folio number 2201-0142900, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182-207C5A to erect a 10-foot by 19-foot front porch addition that will encroach into the 30-foot required front yard setback by 8 feet. Property is zone R5 and located in the 7th Ward. So, I see Ken and Karen here. Okay. I'm going to swear you guys in. Ladies first. Karen, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And Ken, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. And Bill, did we receive pre-marked exhibits?
Yes, Mr. Keene, if I may, I do have 6 exhibits. I'm going to identify them and then ask the applicants if I correctly identified them. Exhibit A1 is the variance application as well as the acknowledgement of the applicants as to rules and procedures of the board signed by both of the applicants. Exhibit A2 is the deed to the property, which I did review and does provide standing. Exhibit 3 is a copy of the area enrollment regulations for this district, the R5. Exhibit A4 is a site plan from Urban, dated November 10, 2020. A5 is a worksheet showing the building coverage and impervious surface calculations. And Exhibit A6 are 10 photos, but marked as 1 exhibits, 1 to 10. 1 being the front view of the house from the sidewalk, 2 being the front view of the house from the walkway, 3 being the front view of the house from the house corner, 4 being a setback front width from the sidewalk, 5 a photo of the rear property line, 6 a photo of the front view of the house from the walkway with the limits of the porch shown, 7 being a front view of the house from the house corner, again with the limits of the porch shown, 8 a Google view of Rittenhouse Circle itself, 9 photo of the street view looking west, and 10 street view looking east. I assume, and we can check with the applicant, that those are both from their property. So I would ask the applicants, did I correctly identify those exhibits? And
Bill, there was one thing you didn't mention. In the first picture, there's a large guard dog on the front lawn. Looks like a corgi.
You'll probably hear him shortly.
It appears to be a corgi.
Small but loud.
I think Mr. Kane would like to know the name of the canine.
Murphy.
Murphy McFadden. Okay.
With regard to photos number 9 and 10, am I correct that they are from the front of your property looking east and west?
That is correct.
Is it your intent and desire to have these exhibits fitted into the record? As the board, I see no reason why they should.
Okay. Then they're admitted. So now that we've gotten through the preliminaries, Ken or Karen, whichever, just please only speak one at a time. Arlene's job is infinitely more difficult conducting hearings in this matter. So for her sake and accurately recording the meeting, if only one of you could speak at a time, whoever the principal speaker is going to be, tell us a little bit about what you would like to do exactly and why.
Thank you. We live in Rittenhouse Circle behind the Y, right off Eagle Road. Looking to build a 10 by 19 front porch addition to our house. We're looking to replace the concrete steps and the concrete walkway leading up to our house. Once we decided we were definitely going to do that, I wanted to put a concrete slab in front of the house to cover my crawl space. I've had probably 2 or 3 issues of flooding over the past 15 years, not an extensive amount of flooding. But over the past 3 years, there's been a lot of EPA remediation on my street, the other side of my street, and that's why I included that Google view of Rittenhouse Circle as photo 8. I guess the monitoring wells that the EPA installed behind my neighbors across the street's house back in 2017, they shut them down for maintenance. Told it, my neighbors, if you look at, I guess, photo 8, it shows you my street. I'm on the bottom side of Rittenhouse. The neighbors are on the top side. The area behind their houses were flooded and also caused a water slick across the front of Rittenhouse Circle. If you're looking at photo 8, it's kind of at the first R there on Rittenhouse Circle. There's a water slick across. In 2018, the township came in and installed under drains on the other side of the road, a little bit on my side of the road, from the other side of the road all the way down to the next inlet to address this groundwater rising. Groundwater rising also flooded the neighbor's back. So that resulted in testing of the backyards. Contamination was found, and to this day, there's still remediation across the street from my house, which, again, like I said, I haven't had any flooding within the past 3 years. My concern is any potential future flooding. I have a contaminated groundwater system, water flowing through contaminated soil, which is currently being remediated, and I don't want that in my house. So it started off, all right, I'm taking my concrete steps in my walkway and I'm redoing them. I want to put the concrete slab in front of my crawl space, which I'm going to turn into a porch. It's time to stop sitting on the plastic lawn chairs in front of the front porch and make the porch. I wanted to put a roof on top of it. Putting that together with my contractor, we found out that Exhibit A3, I guess, 1-207C5A, our setback is 30 feet. But basically anything we do to the front of our house, the hardship of my land, the way I'm looking at this, is the front face of my house is just about 30 feet from the property line. So anything I do in the front of my house is into my setback. So, and going through and trying to figure out how to present this case, I went to Chapter 182-1004 of the Haverford Code, A1, which talks about the variances and things that are considered for approving variances. I guess the no-brainers are C, the unnecessary hardship is not being created by me. Variance, if authorized, it's not going to alter the essential character, and E, the variance, towards relief and the least modification possible. The reason why I included photos 9 and 10, basically sitting in my house looking east and west. See on the first photo, 3 covered front porches on my street, and on the second photo, there are 4 covered porches on my front street. So the point is, as I've discussed with my neighbors when putting this proposal together, I'm not building a Ferris wheel in my front yard. I'm building an open porch, which fits in with the community. Nobody's expressed any objections to me. I'm just trying to put a porch in there to fit in with the community. Part of my concrete rehabilitation of my steps in my walkway.
And when they had that spill or overflow, did it go into your yard, like your backyard, your front yard?
It didn't go into my backyard, no. It didn't come down to my front yard, but the water was coming down the street. I didn't notice it at that point any flooding into my crawl space, but the slicks were coming down the street until they installed the under drain, which eliminated all the water coming down. Like I said, it was going across the street at the R, and then you had the water running down both sides of the street, so the under drain would fix that.
Yeah, because I heard that some people actually had slicks in their basements.
Yes.
And all over their front and backyards. And front and backyards as well.
That's correct. That was mainly on the other side of the street.
Okay.
Their backyards were where the monitoring wells were when they were turned off, and that caused a lot of flooding on the other side of the street in their backyard, which also came into their basement.
Okay.
Correct.
I'll hold my other questions. Jess, do you have any questions?
My only question would be, what is driving the 10-foot depth versus, say?
I was looking at an 8-foot, but if you look at the first photo for me, I have that bay window, and I'm not sure if you can tell from the bay window, but it kicks out, it angles out about a foot. So if I was looking at the front face of the house and putting an apron on, I'm cut off about a foot from the front of the house. So I was just trying to get a little bit more width in the front, so I'm not interfering with that bay window. I'm going to be, put furniture out there and all. I'm trying to stay away from that a little bit.
Your porch, the surface of the porch, is that going to be essentially at grade?
The surface of the porch will be at the bottom of the steps. So if you looked at photos 6 and 7, you can see the mulch.
Steps will be a part of the porch.
Correct. The steps will be a part of the porch, and the front face of those that wood, which kind of lines up. You can't really probably see it in the picture, but the first joint of the concrete walkway is about that's the front face of the porch, which lines up with the wood. So it's about 6 feet of the mulch, and then there's about 4 foot of the grass. Front face, not the far side, but the one closest to the house of that wood.
Okay, so you would say that you're probably leaving about 4 feet in front of your steps.
Correct. We're going to leave 4 feet in front of the steps, and we went a foot on the other side of the steps, so that when we put the pillar for the roof, it's not right in front of the steps. You want to be kind of off, headed to the other side.
Okay.
Right.
I have no further questions.
Bill?
Just a couple. On A8, the map, I was just trying to figure out which is your house. I know it's on the inside of the circle. Is it? You said
So
it was
if you
near
look at the T with Roosevelt, right? Look at the T with Roosevelt, and you move up towards the word Rittenhouse. You see the house with the blue roof?
Yeah.
To the left of that, on the white roof, right to the left of that.
Got it. Okay, got it. Thank you. And then the proposed concrete patio. This wouldn't go all the way across your house. I know that the Exhibit A4 shows it's 19 feet wide, and it looks like from the photos that much of the other side of the front of your house is really a garage that comes in at grade anyway, right? So you don't have a crawl space there. Right. And so just explain to me how the slab you hope, or your engineer, or architect, or whatever, hope will address the risk of water infiltration. Is it because the foundation is more porous, or you've had some flooding, you said, I think, but will this slab, is the idea that by having a covered slab, you would simply be directing rainwater that would otherwise hit right in the front of your house and run down the wall, and just keeping it away from that? Is that right?
Yeah, just trying to pitch it away from the house. That's correct. Put the slab out there, pitch it away from the house, and take it.
So it's not really intended to help like groundwater infiltration. It's water that's coming off.
Yeah,
rainwater.
Yeah. It'll have to. Yeah, it's just going to be for the rainwater. Right.
And then will you the roof, you'll have gutters, I'm assuming, to keep it away from the house. And then where would you run the gutter and the downspouts? Or were you not planning that?
The gutters, if you look at, I guess, the first one, the gutter runs down the side of the house. We'll probably take that and move it over. It comes down the front face of the house. We'll probably take it and move it over to the side of the house. I'm going to have to work with my contractor on that to get the gutter and then run it away from the house. Right now we have it. We have a little one of those little plastic apron things that takes it away from the house.
Yeah. I mean, and I raise this just because almost invariably when we do approvals, one of the conditions is that you will control the runoff so as not to adversely impact your neighbors, right? So, that can go in a lot of different directions. I would presume that any approval would be subject to that condition.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then were you planning on having electricity under the roof of this, like a ceiling fan or a light fixture?
Lights and a ceiling fan underneath the roof.
Okay. But were you planning? You weren't planning on enclosing this patio, right?
It's going to be an open patio. It will not be not like a sunroom or anything like that. It'll be an open patio. No railing even. It's just going to be the slab, the 3 pillars, and the roof.
Okay.
Because we're not putting it at the top of the steps. We're putting it down at ground level.
Yeah,
really
I got it.
Railing.
Okay, I don't. The stairs. You'll have a railing on the stairs so people don't.
The outside, not on the inside.
Yeah, on the outside. Okay, and then okay, so you'd be able to walk out of your door and step immediately down a kind of a big step onto the patio, or walk straight forward down a couple steps.
Correct.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
And you asked mine, so I have no questions. Is there anything either of you would like to add, Ken or Karen?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Any other questions from the board, Jess or Bill?
I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if Ed's back or not. I know he's muted, but
I can see he's not. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that, oh, before I do that, I just wanted to say, you guys did say you spoke to your neighbors, right? Like they know what you're doing?
Our neighbors all received the letters, friendly with the neighbors, spoken to them. Everybody knows what we're doing. There have been no objections filed. Nobody has objected to me personally.
Okay. Bob, could I ask one more question about the neighboring houses? So, Ken, thanks. You were able to show in some of the photos visually what is often done mathematically for us, which is to kind of look at average or median setbacks of all the houses on your street, conforming and non-conforming, and we can kind of get a sense of whether yours would fit in overall with the overall look. In your measurements, but in your estimation, would your deck come forward into your front yard setback any more than your neighbors on shown on A9 and A10, or photos 9 and 10?
No, we went out and we did a quick measurement, but with their permission, went out and measured them. And no, we're not talking about 6-foot porches, and we're proposing a 10-foot porch. Everybody's pretty consistent. And the reason I'm looking for a little bit more is because if you looked at the last 2 pictures, I don't know if the one, I guess number 9, photo 9, if you look down my side of the street, all of the front faces of the houses seem to be in a line. You're not staggered houses, so I believe the setback is pretty close to the front face of all of our houses.
And the house on that picture that appears to be 3 or 4 driveways down has a higher roof line than the other houses, and has what would appear to be the most forward protruding porch, covered porch.
Yeah, that also has an addition on the top, which we're not looking for, right?
Yours would not be in front, extending further into the front.
We would not be outside that. No, we would not be extending closer to the sidewalk. That one's a 10-footer.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask that question.
That's all right. Okay, so back to the litany. Is there anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered either this evening or at our next regularly scheduled meeting on January 7th.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have met Mrs. McFadden somewhere. I don't know where I know her from. Maybe just seeing her around the neighborhood or something. They're right up the street from me. All right.
You're talking about my wife, man.
Oh, no, you look familiar. I know you from somewhere. Maybe just from the neighborhood. Because I live right down the street from you. Our next case is Z20-28, Amin and Melanie Shahidi, owners of 627 Kenilworth Road, Ardmore, PA, DC folio number 2206-012860, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182-208C2F1, that's a mouthful, and 182-208C2G to erect a 12-foot by 21.33-foot deck that encroaches into the required 12-foot side yard setback by 3.25 feet and into the required 25-foot rear yard setback by 15.25 feet. Property is zoned R6 and located in the 6th Ward. So we have Amin and Melanie. So I'll swear you first. Ladies first, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and please state your full name and address for the record.
Melanie Shahidi, 67 Kenilworth Road, Ardmore, PA, 19003.
Okay. And Amin, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please.
Amin Shahidi, 627 Kenilworth Road, Ardmore, PA, 19003.
Okay, thank you. And Bill, I forgot to have the McFaddens say their address in the last case. You have to smack me when I do that. So
I plan on it.
So you have exhibits, Bill, that you want to identify for the record for the Shahidis? Okay.
So I've been provided 6 exhibits. Exhibit A1 is the variance application and acknowledgement signed by both of the applicants. A2 is the deed, which I have reviewed and advised that it does provide standing for this application. A3 is, I'd call it a petition or acknowledgement of neighbors, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16 neighbors have signed indicating their favor of this petition. A4 are 3 photos of the alley with notations made by, I believe, the applicants on those photos. A5 is a plot plan or a sketch plan prepared by Wilkinson, Wilkenson and Associates, dated October 13, 2020. And A6 is the completed building coverage and impervious surface calculation sheet by the applicants. I would ask the applicants, did I correctly identify those exhibits?
Yes.
And is it your intent and desire to have those exhibits entered into the record in this matter?
Yes.
I would advise the board, I see no reason why they should not be admitted into the record.
Okay, so they're admitted. I have one question, Bill. It's only Amin's name appears on the application. So do we need Melanie to?
No, because if you look at the second page of it, Melanie has signed it.
All right. Okay. Now that we have all the formalities out of the way, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you would like to do and why?
Sure. First, I want to thank the board for agreeing to meet us and take the time to hear us out.
Our pleasure.
Basically, currently, our property has a landing and stairs that provides our family a secondary point of egress in case of a fire. The landing and the stairs have deteriorated over the years, therefore beginning to no longer be safe to use. As a result, we're using this opportunity to extend the landing into a deck on the rear of the house and stairs so that we have a means of egress during emergency. The landing that will be extended into a deck will be over the existing driveway in the back of my property. As you see in the pictures, there are 30 properties that share that alleyway, including mine. And of those 30 properties, 15 of them already have decks that have been approved by the township. Our deck will be one of 3 that will actually have stairs and will provide means of and the deck that we're proposing is no bigger than other decks that are.
Okay, so, and this is a bit more tricky than it might sound. I mean, what's the purpose of the deck? Is the purpose to establish an additional safe egress from the house in case something happens? Because when you request a variance, typically there needs to be some type of hardship, right? So I heard you say that this would provide additional egress from that floor of your house. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have children?
Yes, 2.
And how old are they?
They are 8 and 11. And in addition, it also provides a safe space for them to play.
You anticipated my question.
I'm sorry?
You anticipated my question. That's what I was going to ask.
So at times, we end up with people driving down that alley quite fast. And the kids do play in the back of the alley. And when you have a deck that's accessible with stairs, then they would tend to go up there and have a safe play.
Yeah, I've heard that about your alley.
Oh, thanks.
So. Okay, questions? Bill? Rhodes? Bill Rhodes?
Yeah, thanks. Just a couple questions. Amin and Melanie, thanks. Looking at the photos of the alley, I'm looking at the first one, which has the explanation box and 4 arrows looking down, one of which is over an existing deck over a blue car, and it looks, and I can't tell, but it looks that is maybe the shallowest rear deck, and that the others maybe extend a little closer to the alleyway.
You have to forgive me. Unfortunately, I don't have the photos in front of me. The decks come in varying sizes. Some are shallower, some are larger. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, the one with the blue car. Yes, they're across the street, and they're not. It's just a different setback for the homes across the street from us. They're actually tend to be on the larger side.
Okay, and then in that same picture, the deck that would be your immediate neighbor.
Yes.
I believe. Do you know how far that deck is currently running, or how close it's getting to where your proposed deck line would be, the outermost line?
It would be about the same.
Okay.
Thank
you, Kelly.
Yep.
It would be about the same, exactly. It's our next door neighbor, yes.
And from a consistency and aesthetic point of view, would you be okay if we said that your deck should not go beyond that one?
As far as I know, I don't know if actually that home is, our neighbor's house is a little bit further set back than ours. Look at the Wilkins drawing submitted. If you look, that other property is partially pictured, and it is slightly set back compared to my property.
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is that we've got chain link fences that are hard against the road, the alleyway. We've got decks that are overhanging, and while a trash truck can work its way down there,
yes,
yeah, and I don't want to make the logistics of living on that street and providing public services to that street any more difficult than perhaps it already is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. No, that's okay. And
so if you look, my driveway is darker than the alleyway, and my deck will not go beyond. It will extend a bit further over the porta potty that is pictured, but it will not intrude into the alleyway in any way as to interfere with the trash truck activity or any emergency vehicles.
Kelly, do we know how wide this cartway is, or alleyway?
Let me take a quick look at the deed. It should say it in there. 10 feet.
So where you've got the neighbors across the alleyway have a chain link fence that comes within just a couple feet of the paved alleyway. I'm trying to think, do you know what, maybe it's here. So the distance from the alleyway to the deck would be shown as 9.7 feet, I guess, on page A5 or exhibit A5. All right.
Look down, yes, 9.7 feet. And then, so if you look in that same image, as you can see, my backyard actually extends beyond the deck. So to the right of the deck, there would be grass and there would be stone. So if there was an issue with the trash trucks, they would have already been driving over my lawn.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then you were not planning to enclose this deck,
no,
right?
Not at all. No.
And I see one of your neighbors has a retractable sun awning. Would that be the most you would be thinking about from a shade or?
That would be the most we would be thinking. And to be frank with you, that awning doesn't work very well, so we're not even planning on it.
All right. Yeah, we won't pass judgment on it. I just noticed that. Okay, and then presumably you might have an electrical outlet outside on the deck, but that would be the only type of utility service you'd be looking for?
Yes, only electrical outlet. There will be a light above the deck, and for safety reasons, there will be a light below the deck as well.
Okay. When you say above the deck, you mean on the wall of the house?
On the wall of the house, yes.
Okay. All right. And how will you currently, well, how would you have a gutter coming down the side of the house near your electrical service box? Will you be tapping into that for any other purpose, or will you not be needing to control water through the deck?
There won't be any need to control water through the deck.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jess?
My only question is, back right now has windows.
No, because there's already a door on the side of the house where the stairs, that's where the egress would be. So there's already, yeah.
How do you get from the door to the back deck with the stairs there?
So there would be a landing that will wrap around.
And then so the stairs from where they are now on the house will kind of
they're going to
through your side yard.
They're going to point, yeah, exactly. They're going to point in the other direction. That's the proposed relocated steps.
Your door right now is pretty close to the back of the house.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
We're good. Thank you so much. We'd like to add thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure. let's take a 5-minute recess. Is it possible for us to put everybody in the waiting room and just talk?
Yeah, well, do you want to do litany? Do we have to do that?
I don't want to close the record yet. I want to talk with you, Jess, and Bill Malone real quick.
Okay.
So we're off the record.
I don't think you did the litany, and
I don't think you did either for the last.
I thought you did. No?
You just said, is there anything else you'd like to add? No, we're good, thanks. And then you said, let's 5-minute recess.
Okay. Which turned out to be 15, but okay. So, but I'm right at the litany, right? So if any other, Jess, do you have any other questions? No. Bill?
No, I do not.
Okay. Amin or Melanie, do you have anything else you'd like to add? No. Okay. Well, with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify in this case. Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered this evening. If not this evening, then at our next regularly scheduled meeting on January 7th. So I would ask, with regard to case Z20-22, the clarification request from Mr. Sampson and Mrs. Smith. Jessica, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am, yes.
And so am I. Bill, would you please take that decision?
Yeah, I would vote to clarify condition number 2 to the approval of this board dated December 3 to confirm that the applicant is entitled to include a half bath powder room, meaning a toilet and sink on the first floor of the building.
Okay. And Jess, do you concur?
I concur.
And so do I. All right. With respect to case Z20-27, Kenneth and Karen McFadden, Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Jess, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
And so am I. Bill, would you like to take that decision?
Sure. I would vote on application Z20-27 to approve the requested variance subject to the following conditions: that the porch shall not be enclosed except for a roof. The only utility service on the porch will be electricity. The applicant will direct all water runoff so as not to adversely affect neighboring properties. And the project will be completed within 1 year in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Jessica?
I agree.
And so do I. That application's approved with those conditions, 3-0. Good luck, you guys. With respect to case
Thank you.
You're welcome. Z20-28, Amin and Melanie Shahidi. Jess, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
And so am I. Jessica, would you please take this decision?
Sure. I vote to approve the application with the following conditions. There will be no enclosure below the deck. No permanent roof structure will be installed. The deck itself will not be enclosed. Access to the garage will be maintained below the deck. The only utility on the deck will be electric. The rearmost edge of the deck will be no closer than 10 feet from the line of the alley. All work should be completed within a year in accordance.
Okay. Bill?
I agree.
And so do I. That application's approved 3-0 with those conditions. Good luck, everyone. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Any other administrative matters we need to address, or any other matters?
Just the next meeting is January 7th, you said?
We'll do reorganization that night.
Yes.
Did you want to start earlier?
Okay, and are we
Kelly asked a question. Do you guys want to start earlier that night, or you want to go with 7:30/7:45?
I'm flexible. If you guys, we're going to have to do a reorg, right? And
Yes.
Kelly, you think this is Zoom?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it makes a big difference to me, Bob. Whatever's the most convenient for you.
Okay. I mean, it only takes us 5 minutes or 10 minutes to reorganize. I did receive one resume for solicitor, Bill Malone. So, and Arlene.
Should we just repost it or?
Well, I could go solicit, but.
Oh, I've been dying here all night.
All right. So let's say 7:15. How's that? Gives us 15 minutes to reorganize. And we'll go from there.
Want me to log on at 7:30, Bob?
Well, I have a couple other resumes I'm going to call around and try to solicit for a solicitor.
Want me to log on at 8 o'clock just to make sure I can say goodbye?
I could so blast you, but I won't. Restraint, self-restraint. Okay, so we'll say 7:15 for January 7th. And everybody, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get together for Christmas this year, obviously. And I really regret that. I like getting together with you guys.
What about a Zoom happy hour? Like, at some point?
We could do that if you want to.
Just a thought.
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
Everybody sit around, chit chat, and not talk about setbacks and just enjoy each other's company for a second.
Circulate a date. I'm in.
Hey Kelly, just to confirm, we have no open records now carrying into the new year, right?
No,
I believe that's everything.
You still have.
No, I'm sorry. You're right.
You still have the what's their name? Blue
57
Devil.
Town Beagle for the self-storage facility is still.
But they have an indefinite request for extension until they get done with the planning commission, and they've waived all time constraints. So there's no urgency there. McBlain has done his job making sure that you guys are covered. There's no deemed approval or any issues like that.
And Bill,
and I think I missed the beginning of that one. So
it never started.
It never started.
Oh, it never started. Okay.
Bill, I did want to ask you with Jess and Bill here for a status report on one of the appeals, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I should adjourn the meeting because we're still broadcasting and then just talk with you privately for a moment. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll go into a brief executive session. So should I keep the meeting open or should I adjourn it?
No, you can adjourn and we can do that.
Okay. So with that, we're adjourned. Everybody have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year too, since we won't see each other until January 7th, but through Zoom.
Yep.
All right.
Season's greetings to everyone. Thank you.
So don't leave, but we're adjourned.